Hey guys, I want to make a really quick video on abstracts and how to write one, what the purpose is, where it falls in the APA formatting template, and just kind of give you a quick example. So the whole point of an abstract is to summarize your paper. You give your reader a quick overview of the main ideas of your paper and maybe some major details, but you don't go into all of the nitpicky things. It's not an introduction. A lot of students will write their abstract as if it were the introduction to their essay. It's not. You have to write your paper first before you can write your abstract, because you can't summarize something that hasn't been written. So that's really kind of something to keep in mind. The abstract is the second page of your APA formatted document, but that doesn't mean it's the second thing that you should do. You should definitely write your paper first and then summarize it in your abstract. As a researcher, you may have seen abstracts because if you are trying to decide whether or not you want to spend the time reading an entire scholarly article, what you can do is just take a quick look at the abstract. So, for example, in ProQuest, you've probably seen abstracts which are just really short paragraphs, and we can see what the author is doing in their paper, and they'll let us know what the main idea is. Again, it's not an introduction, it's just a basic summary saying what this paper is arguing about or defending, and obviously it's much shorter than the full text itself. Okay, so regarding formatting, again, the abstract is the second page of that document. It's titled abstract. Don't underline that title. You don't need to make the font different or bigger. Just bold it like you would in APA 7th edition. You don't need to italicize the title abstract or put it in quotation marks or anything like that. None of the lines of an abstract are indented. So this is like a sort of a nuance of APA formatting. Abstracts don't indent even the first line. It should all be flush to the left margin. Use Times New Roman, 12-point font, standard 1-inch margins. There are keywords that should fall below an abstract according to APA format, and keywords are kind of like search terms. So if someone was going to try and find your paper, what would be some buzzwords that you've talked about in your paper, or that are topics you've addressed in your paper that someone could search and that would lead them to your work? So that's the concept of keywords. Basically, like, what could someone search that your paper should show up in a search of? When you're writing an abstract, I prefer that you use the third person, like this paper. Avoid saying I argue, or don't refer to yourself in the third person. Also, it's your paper, not someone else's, so saying the author is also kind of like referring to yourself in the third person, which just feels a little bit weird. I think the best thing to do is say, this paper argues this thing, it argues this other thing. Also, use present tense verbs in your abstract. So one of the things I get the most that I do take off points for is students writing the paper will argue. The issue that I have with that is it sounds as if the paper hasn't been written yet. Like, here's what it's going to do later when I write it. But because the point of an abstract is a summary of something that's already written, I want you to use present tense verbs in your abstract. This paper argues this paper describes, this paper compares, etc. Whatever it is, whichever verbs work the best for what you're doing in your paper. If you need better words, use a thesaurus. As long as they fit and are appropriate to what you mean and you understand the context, it's fine to use a thesaurus. The rule about present tense verbs only applies to the subject or verb of the sentence, not the object of the sentence. So I mean, this paper argues, that's where I want that present tense verb in argues. But everything else, it doesn't really matter. You can say that the royal wedding cultivated, past tense, an obsession for love. So when I say present tense verbs, I just mean when you are summarizing your own work, make sure that your verb that addresses that summary is a present tense verb. Keep your abstract in chronological order. So whatever you address in your paper in that order is kind of what I should expect to see in your abstract. State the main idea, then go through, what are the big topics. Your abstract should not be more than 1 page. So if you have an abstract that's longer than a page, you're adding too many details and you need to summarize your summary, so you need to shorten it. Keywords should not fall onto that second page, which I guess would be page 3 in your document. It should all fit right within that second page and should not span onto any additional pages. Again, abstracts use keywords. So here's an example abstract. I'm going to read this. You can pause. I'm not going to say anything else after this, so if you want to pause the video or stop it here and read the abstract yourself, that's totally fine, but this is the last thing that I'll cover. Okay, so here's an example abstract. This paper discusses social media's presence during the October 22nd, 2018 through November 1st, 2018 bomb threats of Democratic Party members and prominent supporters with its ability to spread conspiracy theories. Again, most important thing this paper discusses. Social media, with its lack of rules and regulations, is a perfect arena for conspiracy theories to grow and thrive. The ability of instant interaction and the passing of ideas and thought by social media is a primary reason conspiracy theories are rampant online. Again, we get another of the phrase that I'm looking for. This paper addresses 4 main points during the timeline of the bomb threats that allowed conspiracy theories to flourish on social media platforms. Now we're going to get that chronological order that I mentioned before. The first issue it addresses is the ability of so-called experts who have large groups of followers to make the theories seem factual because they pass them along. The second issue it covers is the ability of social media to make it easier to introduce and discuss conspiracy theories. Again, there's not a lot of detail here. They say, hey, this is the next thing that the paper talks about. I'm going to go into detail in the paper, so I don't really need to go into detail here. Read my paper if you're curious. The third issue in this paper is the ability of conspiracy theories on social media to sow doubt and make wild accusations. The final issues this paper identifies, we have a verb tense issue, but that's okay, is that conspiracy theories on social media allow users to pass them along while at the same time adding irrelevant information to the event to advance a cause or issue. We have a final sentence on what the paper is doing overall. This paper highlights these issues and how social media plays a massive part in them. Okay, and then formatting wise, we see keywords are indented, single-spaced, and there's a list of keywords that, again, if someone were searching, maybe they would find this paper if they started to search multiple of these keywords at the same time. So that's the concept here. An abstract is just a summary of your paper. It's not an introduction. There are some specific formatting requirements of the abstract and how you write it, but otherwise it's pretty simple and shouldn't take up more than 1 page. So if you guys have any questions, let me know.